Welcome, my radiant Leo souls. Whether you've been walking with me for years or you've just stumbled into our circle today, this is Golden Fortune Leo. Here, astrology is not some dusty collection of charts, it's a living compass, a mirror held up to your spirit, and sometimes even a playful reminder not to take yourself too seriously. September 2025 arrives carrying the weight and wonder of eclipses, those cosmic highlighters that scribble over our money stories, our homes, and the quiet corners of our peace of mind. For Leos, this isn't background noise, this is the universe turning up the volume on your financial destiny. Imagine it like a grand chessboard in the heavens. The eclipses set the pieces in motion. Mars storms across the board like that reckless knight who always causes trouble, and Venus decides if you glide through with irresistible charm or if you end up tripping over your own royal pride. Either way, you're not watching from the sidelines, you're the main player, the sovereign figure expected to lead with courage. And remember, being a Leo isn't just about soaking up the applause. It's about holding that spotlight with grace, humor, and yes, sometimes the humility to laugh at yourself when life throws a banana peel on stage. So as we step into this season, consider it both a test and a blessing. The eclipses are here to shake loose what you no longer need, even if it's your comfort zone, and to carve space for wealth, growth, and wisdom. You, the chosen ones of this year of triumph, are invited to dance between patience and boldness, to treat every twist of fate not as punishment but as a teacher. And if all else fails, remember that even kings and queens sometimes trip on their robes. The real power is in how you rise, dust yourself off, and keep walking forward with your crown still shining. September 2025 is no ordinary month, my Leo friends. It's more like a turning point written into the script of your life. This is when eclipses land directly on your money axis, the second house of what you earn and the eighth house of what you share, borrow, inherit, or stumble into by surprise. I like to call it chunky money, the kind that doesn't rattle like spare change in your pocket but arrives with enough weight to shift how you live. These eclipses are not casual lunations. They're cosmic highlighters that circle the chapter of your story and say, this right here must transform. And just like your favorite Netflix miniseries, the changes don't happen in one dramatic explosion, they roll out over months, each episode bringing a new twist you didn't see coming. For Leo, the spotlight falls on wealth, but not just in the superficial sense. The universe is asking you to confront a deeper truth. Is prosperity merely the number of zeros in your bank account? Or is it the freedom to live with dignity, to move with purpose, and to enjoy joy without constantly checking the price tag? This month places you right at that crossroads. And let's be honest, Leos don't usually enjoy crossroads. You'd prefer a red carpet rolled out in one clear direction. But eclipses aren't interested in comfort, they're interested in growth. Think of this as a test of values. Will you define success by accumulation alone, or by the richness of experiences, relationships, and wisdom? Psychology tells us that fulfillment is rarely about possessions, it's about meaning. Buddhism whispers the same lesson: clinging breeds suffering, while letting go opens the door to peace. And with a bit of humor, because even kings and queens need comic relief, let me remind you that no one ever bragged on their deathbed about owning 12 toasters. This month, Leo, the cosmos is inviting you to redefine prosperity so that your wealth shines not only in your wallet but also in your heart. The first week of September 2025 is not for the faint of heart, Leo. It feels like juggling fire while walking a tightrope, exciting, dramatic, and maybe a little dangerous if you forget to breathe. Mars, the planet of action and conflict, is pacing impatiently through your third house of communication, siblings, short trips, and daily interactions. Meanwhile, Jupiter, sitting exalted in Cancer, is watching from across the board, larger than life, radiating wisdom, and frankly not letting Mars get away with much. This square between them creates a push and pull of energy that can turn a casual comment into a courtroom drama. One misplaced text message might read like a declaration of war, and suddenly you're wondering how Thanksgiving dinner with your siblings became a debate worthy of C-SPAN. But here's the truth from someone who has studied these cosmic patterns for decades: Jupiter has the upper hand. While Mars fumes in Libra, a little off balance, Jupiter insists on the bigger picture. He's calling you to expand your horizons, to think beyond your local squabbles and neighborhood politics, and to consider new income streams that stretch across borders: international projects, digital platforms, or anything that doesn't require you to argue with your neighbor about hedge trimming. If you feel your pride bristling this week, remember that your real battlefield isn't the group chat or the driveway, it's your vision of prosperity. From a psychological lens, this is the week to practice restraint. Not every irritation deserves a reaction. From a Buddhist perspective, it's a chance to cultivate patience and see the comedy in human conflict. After all, why let your peace be stolen by a sibling who can't return your car with a full tank of gas? Mars will try to light fires, but Jupiter hands you the extinguisher, and if you're wise, you'll use it to water the seeds of your future wealth instead. Circle September 7th on your calendar, Leo, because this day doesn't just whisper change, it roars it. A total lunar eclipse lands in Pisces, illuminating your 8th house, the territory of shared wealth, inheritances, taxes, and karmic eos that sometimes come due when you least expect it. Picture it like stumbling across a treasure chest buried in the attic of your soul. For some, it may show up as literal money, and inheritance, a partner's bonus, or even that elusive tax refund you thought the government lost in a black hole. For others, the treasure is more subtle: a spiritual teacher appears, a hidden truth surfaces, or an insight cracks open your financial story in ways no accountant could ever predict. But after decades of studying eclipses, let me tell you, when they touch the Leo 8th house, the lesson rarely stops at dollars and cents. It is about power: who holds it, who gives it away, and who dares to reclaim it. Maybe you'll find yourself renegotiating a financial arrangement with a partner, realizing you've been paying more than your share of the rent. Maybe you'll see that depending too heavily on someone else's wallet leaves you feeling less like a sovereign lion and more like a house cat waiting for dinner. And here's where humor sneaks in, because let's be honest, Leos are not famous for sharing the spotlight, and the 8th house is literally the domain of sharing. The universe, in its infinite comedy, is asking, "Dear Leo, can you loosen your grip on control and still keep your crown?" The Buddhist teaching here is simple yet profound: clinging breeds suffering, generosity breeds freedom. So this eclipse is not punishment, it's an invitation to discover that true power is not hoarding the pie but knowing you'll always have enough even when you share a slice. Between September 11th and 15th, Leo, the universe hands you something rare, a stretch of pure glow-up energy. Your ruler, the Sun, links arms with Jupiter in a sextile, and suddenly the air feels lighter, possibilities feel wider, and doors you thought were locked begin to creak open. This is cosmic prime time for putting yourself out there, whether that means applying for a new job, pitching a project, or finally asking for the raise you know you deserve. Venus, still gracing your sign until the 18th, works like a celestial stylist sprinkling charm over everything you touch. Translation: you walk into the room and people just want to nod and say yes. Now, I've counseled Leos for decades, and here's what I know: charm will open the door, but preparation keeps you seated at the table. Use this window wisely. The universe may hand you the microphone, but you still need to know your lines. Psychology teaches us that confidence without substance often crumbles under pressure. Buddhism reminds us that true confidence is quiet, rooted in presence, not performance. Blend the two, and you become unstoppable. And yes, for some of you, this glow-up is literal. You might finally ditch that wardrobe that's been stuck in 2015, try a haircut bold enough to make your ex jealous, or replace that laptop that's been limping along since the Obama years. Venus in Leo doesn't just suggest, it insists, shine brighter. And you should, because during this window, the world is more than ready to applaud. Just remember, Leo, it's not about applause alone, it's about radiating so much authenticity that even when the spotlight shifts, your glow remains. September 21st brings the real plot twist of the month, a solar eclipse in Virgo, landing squarely in your second house of earned income. Think of it as the universe hitting update on the financial software running your life. The problem? Just like any software update, it may delete a few old files you thought you needed. This eclipse asks you to release tired earning strategies, jobs that drain your spirit, and habits that quietly sabotage your bank account. And perhaps the deepest lesson: stop tying your self-worth to the number printed on your paycheck. You are not a line item in QuickBooks, Leo, you are a whole constellation. But after years of watching these skies and listening to human stories, I'll give you this cautionary note: tread carefully. Venus is fallen in Virgo, Mars is restless, and Pluto is prowling the edges. Translation: this is not the week to roll the dice on high-risk investments, experiment with cosmetic surgery, or let your cousin talk you into a once-in-a-lifetime timeshare in Florida. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably comes with a maintenance fee. Instead, approach this eclipse like a monk with a credit card, mindful, deliberate, and allergic to impulse buys. Spend less than you earn. Invest in what is steady. And remember, eclipses do their best work when we step back and allow change to unfold rather than trying to control every twist of fate. Psychology tells us impulsive choices under stress often backfire. Buddhism reminds us that desire without wisdom is suffering in disguise. Blend those truths with a Leo's courage, and you'll find that even as the eclipse rewrites your money story, it's shaping a future in which your wealth isn't just measured in dollars but in peace of mind. Starting September 22nd, Mars packs his bags and stomps right into your fourth house of home and family, and let's just say he doesn't exactly arrive with flowers. This transit can feel like someone lit a firecracker in your living room, sudden renovations, real estate choices, or family dynamics so dramatic you might fantasize about moving to Bali and raising goats just to escape. Mars here is strong, decisive, and determined, but he's also hot-tempered. Arguments can spark faster than you can say pass the salt, and if you're not mindful, small disagreements could escalate into full-blown melodramas worthy of daytime television. If you're buying or selling property, this is the time to read every line of the contract twice. Mars loves bold moves but isn't famous for reading the fine print. If you're moving in with a partner, boundaries must be established early, because love is sweeter when both parties know who gets which side of the closet. And if it's just a home project, like painting the kitchen, please remember, debating sunset orange versus pumpkin spice should not end in silent treatment. Your home is your castle, Leo. Guard it with courage, but resist the temptation to burn the drawbridge just to prove you're right. One of the most exciting gifts September delivers, Leo, is the rare kite formation in the sky, showing itself around the 18th and again on the 23rd. Imagine a kite pulled by the wind soaring high, catching light, dancing against the horizon. That's the message from the cosmos: fly high, yes, but don't forget the string. The string is what keeps the beauty of the flight sustainable, rather than a reckless plunge. For Leos, this configuration shines on publishing, teaching, higher education, and international travel. It's the universe whispering or perhaps shouting that if you've ever dreamed of writing your book, signing up for that course, or working across oceans, this is your green light. But here's where decades of research and countless stories from clients add perspective: success is sweetest when it's authentic. Beware of ambition that secretly wears desperation's mask. Don't take a book deal that leaves you with pennies just so you can brag at cocktail parties about being a published author. Don't sign up for a spiritual retreat just because the brochure shows a waterfall and a smiling guru. In psychology, we call this chasing external validation. In Buddhist terms, it's clinging to illusion. Both end the same way: disappointment. True success, especially under a kite, comes when you rise with balance. Your creative projects, your learning journeys, your travels, these should feed your soul, not just your resume. A kite without its string doesn't fly higher, it crashes. So let September remind you, tie your ambition to wisdom, and you'll soar not just in career or reputation, but in peace of mind. The final week of September doesn't exactly roll out the red carpet, Leo. It throws in a few speed bumps for good measure. Mars locks horns with Pluto, Venus is still wobbling, and the atmosphere at home may feel more like a soap opera than a sanctuary. If you share space with a spouse, a roommate, or even that cat who struts around like he pays the mortgage, expect sparks. Tempers may flare, egos may collide, and the question of who really runs this house could become a running theme. This is where Buddhist wisdom offers a lifeline: patience. The universe may appear to demote you temporarily, your workload gets cut back, income dips, or pride takes a hit. But here's the deeper truth I've witnessed again and again: these so-called setbacks are not punishments. They're pruning shears, trimming away what no longer serves you so that growth can return stronger and more abundant. Psychology echoes the same lesson: resilience is born not in constant winning, but in how we navigate temporary loss without losing ourselves. And here's your silver lining: Jupiter enters Leo in July 2026, launching the true year of triumph cycle for you. What looks like scarcity now is simply a prelude to abundance. So when the end of September tests you, remember, the crown isn't lost because of a stumble. It only slips if you forget to adjust it. And if your cat still thinks he's king, let him. Sometimes patience means letting others believe they're in charge while you quietly prepare for your own grand re-entry. After more than 2 decades of studying the stars and walking alongside people through their triumphs and stumbles, I can say this with certainty: Leos never do anything halfway. You're not the flicker of a candle, you're the fireworks that make the whole neighborhood stop and look up. And yet, here's the paradox I've seen again and again with my Leo clients: the harder you cling to money, status, or recognition, the quicker it slips through your fingers. Real wealth comes when you loosen your grip and trust the current of life to carry you towards something greater. It's not about hoarding, it's about allowing flow. This September, the eclipses are testing you in the arenas of money, home, and pride. They're asking, almost like a wise old teacher, can you release the outdated scripts, the old beliefs that your worth is tied to your paycheck, or that control equals security, and step into a prosperity that feels authentic, balanced, and sustainable? My advice, after years of watching how Leos rise and rise again, is simple: say yes to the projects that grow slowly but last. Say no to vanity projects that only feed the ego for a moment. Say yes to wisdom, no to shortcuts. And above all, remember, your worth was never measured in dollars or possessions. You were chosen because of your courage, your generosity, and your ability to shine even in life's darker seasons. So as you walk through September 2025, keep this truth close: eclipses don't come to destroy, they come to redirect. What looks like a loss may just be the universe clearing space for something richer. And while you wait, don't forget to enjoy life, laugh at the small dramas, savor the victories, even let yourself rest in your own glow. After all, what's the point of being royal if you never stop to dance in your own castle? If this message resonates, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to Golden Fortune Leo. Join our community, and in the comments, tell me, what shifts around money or home are you already sensing? Your story could be the light someone else needs. Until we meet again, shine brightly, live wisely, and trust that in this year of triumph 2025, the cosmos is not here to punish you, it's here to crown you.